Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jesse Gunkel as we track the tropics, and here is the very latest on Zeta at this point. Kind of an eerie and somewhat odd situation for us. This is a late season storm. You can see on the southern half of the screen, that is Tropical Storm Zeta, expected to become a hurricane later on tonight. A little bit to the northwest of us, a stationary front, which eventually will be a cold front, a strong one that'll clear the skies and drop our temperatures heading into the weekend. And just a few more miles towards the northwest, a winter storm across portions of New Mexico and portions of Texas and Oklahoma. Obviously a big void out there. We're talking winter weather versus tropical weather kind of mixing right over Louisiana. So here is the big story. Obviously, Tropical Storm Zeta, right now the winds are at 70 miles per hour. That is a strong tropical storm, which means the system is slowly starting to gain a little bit of strength out there. Over the last few hours, we've seen a lot more thunderstorms kind of bloom and blossom around the center of this system. It's almost somewhat developing an eye. You can kind of see how we're starting to get that convection really kind of wrapped around this system, and even again an eye really trying to take hold here. But again, we're starting to see that banding around the center, also a sign that this system is slowly beginning to intensify, and that will be the case overnight, mainly because this environment also, this next 12 hours will be probably the best window for possible strengthening out there. Now, we're not talking rapid intensification, but it's going to be a slow process. We'll get those winds back into right around hurricane strength by tomorrow morning, maybe even up to about 85 heading into the afternoon, and then the system will quickly accelerate and push inland. Now, again, kind of looking at the big picture, there is a lot of dry air and wind shear. Obviously, that's going to be the key here, because what we're watching is this upper level low right here, which is going to quickly eject this system towards the northeast, and you see here we're already starting to see some of those clouds kind of fan out across the northern edge. Do we get a little bit of dry air kind of entrained in the center of the system? That's going to help obviously to weaken the system as it makes its way a little bit further inland. So again, it's going to have, right now Zeta looks like it's going to have some pretty tough obstacles once it gets inland. The only thing that's going to save it is its forward speed, because it could be moving at about 20 to 25 miles per hour around landfall. And if that's the case, it really does not allow this system to decay before landfall, meaning weaken before landfall. So again, we're calling for a hurricane. Should be a hurricane near landfall, and then it's going to quickly accelerate towards the northeast and be out of here by the time we get to about midnight. So let me give you the latest timing here and just show you the latest track. By the time you wake up tomorrow morning, those winds could be up to about 85 miles per hour. Notice how the cone has narrowed a little bit. Looks like landfall is going to be south of New Orleans, probably just around Grand Isle, maybe closer to the mouth of the Mississippi River, and then it's going to quickly race through. Could shift slightly east, and we could have two landfalls right across the mouth of the Mississippi, and then potentially another one along the northern Gulf Coast, maybe around Biloxi, maybe right around the Mississippi-Alabama state line. Now, as you see here, Category 1, quickly racing off towards the northeast. Still the threat that it could wiggle a little bit, obviously towards the west a little bit, and that obviously could increase our impacts just a little bit. I do want to point out, you can see that the cone is outside of most of our viewing area. It does include portions of Tangipahoa, St. James, St. John the Baptist, maybe even a little bit of Ascension Parish right there. But again, the major impacts are going to be mainly east of this system. So again, just be well aware of that. You can see there is a hurricane warning in place, because we're going to start to see conditions pick up within the next 24 hours. So maybe even by the next, I would say 12 to 18 hours, we may get a little bit of rain tomorrow morning. Look for the winds to start picking up, the clouds to move in, heading into tomorrow afternoon early. And then by the time we roll into early evening, that storm should be making landfall and driving towards the northeast. But you can still see a tropical storm watch for portions to the west, and areas a little bit further inland, we're now talking a tropical storm warning. And as you see here, they have extended that warning much further inland, even around Montgomery, Mississippi, all the way up to Birmingham, even just north of Atlanta, a tropical storm watch. And the reason, it's because of the quick forward speed of this system, because it's going to quickly accelerate and drive possible tropical storm, even hurricane force winds well inland. As you see, because of those winds driving that water inland, look for 5 to 8 just south of Biloxi, Gulfport area. Looks like that's going to be the storm surge out there. Inland lakes about 2 to 4. 4 to 6, Lake Bourne, that goes all the way to the mouth of the Mississippi, and from the mouth of the Mississippi to Port Fourchon, kind of sitting in that 4 to 6 category. Anything really west of there will be about 2 to 4. So obviously keep an eye on that. We could be seeing some coastal flood advisories in place. And then I also want to point out, obviously right now it's been pretty quiet so far with the rainfall, but as we move into the overnight hours, look for some passing showers. You got to remember this is tropical rain, so again, some of those downpours could be a little bit on the heavier side. Now, luckily, this type of system, and because it's going to be moving so quickly, got to watch those outside feeder bands. But again, the worst side of the storm, the dirty side, is that northeastern quadrant. So that's pretty much outside of our area. I do want to point out that around New Orleans there is a marginal risk, and there is a slight risk for the mouth of the Mississippi River. So that's a 2 out of 5. Key here is, again, it's going to be those feeder bands, and we're talking probably Wednesday afternoon moving into early evening for us. As you see, the chance for some heavy rainfall moving into the morning hours. Drive with caution out there. And then as we move into early evening, probably around 5, 6, 7, that time frame, I think that's when we're going to probably be in the thick of things here. At least we'll have some tropical storm force winds, mainly from Tangipahoa, St. Helena, maybe Livingston, Ascension, St. James, St. John the Baptist, St. Charles. You guys are going to be seeing those tropical storm force winds. Baton Rouge, again, we're talking maybe 20, 30, some gusts 40 plus, possibly even up to about 50 miles per hour. So I'm not calling for widespread power outages around the capital area, but there could be a couple locations out there as we could be seeing some flying debris. Make sure you put the Halloween decorations away, obviously. Strap them down at least, because again, those stronger winds could kind of throw your decorations all over your yard. And then the system moves through. By the time we get to about midnight, system could be already halfway through the state of Alabama, pushing into Georgia, and then we're clear and we're quiet heading into your Thursday and Friday, as that front should be pushing through by early Thursday morning, dropping our temperatures on the backside. Chance for some tropical storm force winds. We're talking about 40 plus out there. Now we sit at about 40 to 50%, and obviously that's mainly around I-55 and east of here. Look for the chance for even hurricane force winds from Grand Isle all the way up to New Orleans and Biloxi. You can just kind of see on our model here. Baton Rouge, we're talking 20. Grand Isle, hurricane force wind gusts. Again, not sustained, but gusts, obviously. Morgan City at about 30, Slidell at about 41. And you can see, again, as the system drives through, we could be seeing those wind gusts at about 40, 50 here. And that could even include a lot of areas. Obviously, winds strong around the Hammond area at about 36, and then stronger near Slidell. And then southern Mississippi and Alabama, Mobile could even have winds up to about 80 to 90 miles an hour. And then, again, that system kind of drives towards the northeast quickly, and our winds relax. But still, I think a little bit breezy heading into Thursday, as those winds could be sitting around 20 to 25. Now, as you see here, rain estimates really have not changed because of the quick forward speed. We're only calling for about 2 to 4, and that's mainly east of I-55. You can see localized areas could see higher amounts. For us, 1 to 2. Potential for some localized flash flooding, but I think our rivers and streams should be fine at this point. We've got plenty of room to take in a little bit of water out there over the next day and a half. So again, we're just watching the rain. As you see here, the threat, again, storms tomorrow. Conditions quickly start to deteriorate throughout the day, but once we get into your Thursday, Friday, cold front drives through and things are looking spectacular moving forward. 73 for tonight. Look for a couple showers out there, mild and muggy. Remember that we have partnered up with iHeartRadio Baton Rouge. Get your weather on the go. And here is that 7-day picture for you. We've got 80 tomorrow. Look for the rain to move in. Look for breezy conditions to arrive heading into the afternoon hours. Some heavy downpours out there. Again, tornadic threat should be low, but breezy out there, and yes, chance for some power outages. Cold front drives through early Thursday. Backside, we're talking highs in the 60s, overnight lows even in the 40s. How about that? Some of the coolest air of the season so far. Halloween, 71 out there, gorgeous for trick-or-treating. Remember that we do turn back the clocks before heading to bed. Turn it back an hour, we gain an extra hour of sleep. Another reinforcing cold front heads in by late Sunday going early Monday, so we get another punch of cold air and things remain pretty comfortable as we head to Election Day. So again, continue to stay alert, stay prepared out there. There is a possibility the system could walk a little bit further west, but right now it seems like most of the impacts are going to be east of the storm. again, follow those trusted sources. We're going to continue to guide you through this system overnight and throughout the day tomorrow. And make sure you download our app. It's brproud.com for the very latest. Also go to our website, brproud.com, for the latest information on sandbag locations and everything else. Thanks again for joining us, and please stay safe throughout Zeta.